So, welcome everyone to this quickie session. We're going to have a person from Citerus, Tobias Modig, here to tell us a bit about the Tech Coach Strikes Back. A warm hand for Tobias.
Well, thank you, and welcome to the Tech Coach Strikes Back. I'm Tobias Modig, a consultant at Citerus, and do or do not, there is no try. Famous words from that little green fellow. Well, I do a lot of things when it comes to my professional life. I do coaching. I've been an architect. I am a teacher. I blog. But most of all, I'm a software developer. I write code. Am I good at it? I don't know, but I think I'm at least pretty decent. At least I'm better than I was when I graduated from the university in the late 90s. So who can I thank for that? Well, my colleagues, absolutely. I have worked with a lot of great people who inspired me and that I learned from. And, of course, people like you, people that show up at conference and events and share their knowledge. A big thanks to all of you. Anyone else? Well, myself maybe. I have read some books in my spare time. I have spent some nights hacking in the wardrobe. And yeah, I attend a meetup once in a while. But how about the companies that I worked for? Well, some of them certainly have some credit, but I'm sorry to say that most of them, they don't take this seriously enough. And that's what I'm here to speak about today. How companies could invest in the technical talents to make them happier, better and more productive developers. But if we start by looking at how things work in a closely related area, how is support when doing traditional agile stuff? Well, it's actually pretty good. The companies, they actually spend barrels of money on agile coaching. And they hire those kick-ass agile coaches that helps us with, with workshops. We're attending meetups and what do we get? Well, we learn to use different colors on the post-it notes. Well, we have endless debate if estimation should be done in hours, story points, or maybe t-shirt sizes. We start to use capital letters on the scrum boards. And how should I rip off a post-it? Is 1 week sprint better than 2 week sprints? Did you say 3 weeks? That's not even agile. Should I use a burn down chart or a burn up chart? Is my father more agile than your father? Well, don't get me wrong here. Agile coaching and ways of working, it is important. But the question remains, does those agile coaches help us write better code? Well, I haven't seen that. So do we get any support when doing technical stuff? Well, no. And still, rotten, filthy code is hard to maintain, even if it's developed in that puristic Scrum world blessed by the almighty Jeff Sutherland. So the companies, they invest all of this money on post-it coaching, but not a single dime on our core business. Am I the only one that thinks that this is crazy? Am I the only one that thinks that this lunatic must come to an end? I believe that we developers, we need to strike back. We need to protect our right to grow in the art of creating code. We earn our cut from the coaching cake, so to say. So what is it I want? What is technical coaching? Well, for me, technical coaching is about to help the developers to grow, to help them develop that sense to feel if the code smells. And to make them realize that writing code is a lot about good habits. And based on that, I think that the absolute prior one is to help them build a foundation based on XP's 12 principles. Not just to know them, but to adapt them, to use them regularly, and to make them a natural part of their developer lives. So just a quick recap here. XP's 12 principles, anyone? We have the fine-scale feedback with the pair programming, planning game, test-driven development, and the whole team approach. We have the shared understanding with coding standards, collective code ownerships, simple design, and system metaphor. We have the continuous process with continuous integration, design improvement, and small releases. And we have the programming welfare with a sustainable pace. This sounds great, right? So why doesn't it happen? More or less all companies, they have some kind of lead developer and system architect or a tech lead or something like that. Shouldn't this be their task? That's probably true. But the truth is, the people in such roles, they don't have the time. They are too busy attending meetings, estimate the next project, battle with steering committees. So they just don't have the time. Or, to be honest, they and their organization don't prioritize this high enough. So what we actually need is a change of attitude. These kind of topics really need a higher priority in the organization because everyone gains on it. Not just we developers, but the whole companies and even the customers, because the products will be better, the technical depth will decrease. And without having any effect, I'm pretty sure that it will help us keep the developers in the companies. And why is that? Well, because it's fun, and because it helps the developers to evolve. And that's what truly motivates us, not the size of the paycheck. So how should we do it? Well, one way to do it is to do mob programming coaching sessions. This way, it's easy to start. What you need is a couple of hours a week, a good space to be, and maybe some technical investments on big screen, etc. So when it comes to technical group coaching, I try to stick to a few simple rules. So let's start with the mob programming setup. This picture or this setup is actually inspired by, or actually to be honest, a totally rip-off from a friend of mine called Llewellyn Falco, who has done quite a lot of this kind of coaching. So we have big screens here in the front. We have a whiteboard. If we need to discuss something, maybe write some examples down or anything like that. Then we have a laptop and a desk over here with a computer. And that's where the driver is. The driver is the one who does the actual programming or the typing at the keyboard. But here there might be a problem, and that problem is silence. Silence is bad. Silence is when the driver keeps on hacking and the rest of the mob tries to catch along. That's why we have this guy here, the navigator. The navigator is the one who actually tells the driver what to do. Tells the driver more or less what to type on the keyboard. By using this, we get rid of that silence, so everyone gets a fair chance to actually catch up and understand what's happening. In Llewellyn's approach here, he suggested that people rotate counterclockwise every 4 minutes. I say every 4 minutes is a good way to start. When the team gets a little bit more experience, you could probably increase it, maybe double it to 8, as long as you don't break the golden rule that everyone should be navigator and everyone should be driver at least once each session. Finally, we have the facilitator or the coach. And everyone in the team should participate in these sessions with no exceptions. This has many benefits, where the biggest problem is that the team will start to talk code. Not just the best pals, but everyone. And if you can continue to do this outside these coaching sessions, you will see a huge difference in the team's dynamic and of the productivity. But beware, there are always someone who thinks that there is something more important to do than group coaching. And in the short term, that might be true. But will the company lose millions if he spends 90 minutes on competence improvement? Will someone die? If not, he should be there. Otherwise, people will always find excuses. And remember to use XP. Like I said before, one of the key goals is to help the developers to use the XP principles. It's quite easy to actually focus on, for instance, TDD and forget the rest of them. So do write test, check in often, continuously do the refactoring, etc. With fabricated problems, often we have adjusted solutions. So try to work in a production environment if possible. By doing this, the developers, they will recognize themselves and then can focus on the key issues here and not trying to learn that new context. So just solve a bug together or affect that class with 2,000 lines of codes. What you do is actually not the big issue here. Just do something together. And remember to have fun. This should be fun. So stay out of weird times like Monday mornings or late nights. Try to keep the sessions short, 1 to 2 hours. And try to see it as a positive window in that hectic work week. If it's turned into some kind of slentrian, well, do something else next time. Take a code talking fika instead, or invite the front-end team and hack some JavaScript. Maybe pop some popcorn and watch a conference talk. Maybe this one. Try to wrap up each coaching session with a short mini retro. What have we learned today? What was good? What was bad? What should we do different the next time? And one final tip to you that acts as a coach. Remember, this is not about you. It's about them, the developers. So don't try to be in the center more than you need. Try to take a facilitator role and not the leader role. If you remember Llewellyn's picture earlier, the coach was placed in the back. And if I know Llewellyn right, that was definitely on purpose. So, to sum it up, post-it coaching or traditional agile coaching, it's not waste. But technical coaching is at least equally important. Mob programming is a good way to do it. Remember to obey the XP principles. And if you're trying to create that high-performance super-duper team, try to combine it with other stuff like mentoring and education, and you will see the difference. So, back here to Scrum Master Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. So please promise me now that you don't just say, I might try this at home. I think that you should go home and do it, because we, the developers, we deserve it. Thank you.